Hello. I honestly, at this exact second, don't know what this video is particularly even about. And I guess you're about to find out. And maybe I've already lost you. I probably did. But, uh, I'm masking quite a bit right now. I I've had a really hard day, and that makes it sound real nonchalant. That makes it sound like nothing happened, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Um, I'm trying to figure out how to deliver this bombshell. I don't even know what's what and what I'm feeling, and it's wild, you know? I'll start like this. I crawled out of bed today, or bed's a strong word. I have been making a habit out of sleeping on my living room floor. Oh, by the way, I have a living room floor. I've recently moved by myself and I live very, utterly alone. And so that's been something. And, it's been working out, I've been getting used to it a little bit more. But, I woke up, dragged myself off the floor, and after going to bed way too late, and I didn't get enough sleep, and I'm barely waking up, it took me like an hour just to actually like get up, and then I check my after I read my Bible and I pray and all that, I check my phone to um just to see, if there's anything important. And I see this notification for from my bank, or technically my bank, debt consolidation agency, right? And long story short, my car is getting repoed, and or I mean, I would actually like thank the Lord if it got repoed. I have to voluntarily turn it in and all of that, and I just learned that today. I was going through some debt consolidation and all this and that, and this phone call was about how apparently I didn't actually qualify for it. And so, the little bit of peace I had in that, and that I had actually at least established a baseline of like, all right, I know what's happening with my financial issues. Here's how it's going to get reconciled. This is how long it's going to take. And then that just got totally tossed up into the air, which is utter nonsense, for the lack of a better word. And, yeah. And I just have to pray that it doesn't turn legal. My bank doesn't pursue me anytime soon. So that was real distressful. Something like something like $24,000 of debt between a car and a credit card. And then I get to work, and I get to work late. Like, I'm about to turn in my rent, and like hit third day in a row I wasn't able to turn it in because whoever wasn't there, and um, my managers weren't there, and because I wasn't able to get up early enough because my sleep schedule's garbage, and and then what else? And then when I got to work, that was relatively okay, but then the comparison demons want to hit, and I got to work with a friend I haven't been around in a while, and that was very nice. I learned through many conversations throughout my day at work, that apparently I have one of the worst sleep schedules known to man, or at least that's what it feels like. And I really felt like an odd man out. Everybody else apparently had perfectly fine sleep schedules, and I'm just getting replies. I'm telling them what it's like, and apparently, I'm getting hit with "I could never," and oh my gosh. And that didn't make me feel very good. So that, on top of like all of the turmoil of my financial stress, and then me not being able to like get enough sleep and dragging out of bed and all of that, it's bad enough. And then just to put it bluntly, I'm struggling with a bit of a lust issue, and that creeped in and was trying to creep in, and so then I'm fighting those demons, and then I'm sitting there probably thinking a little too much, on my breaks at work, and I don't know, I'm realizing, I shouldn't let comparison win like this, but I'm just realizing that I've I don't know how to digest my mistakes. So I'll put it like that. The car, that's the common thread in all of this. The car, the credit card debt, and then, my sleep schedule. And maybe this is a stupid thing to say, but I don't care. I'm tired of paying for my own mistakes. I'm tired of it. I know in a lot of ways it's not fair to throw the progress that I have and I've made through trusting God more than anything, that, to throw that progress under the bus, that's not fair. It's not right. And I'm not trying to do that. But and people make mistakes, and nobody's perfect. Neither am I. I'm not perfect. Everybody's in a different spot, and nobody's situation is the same. But it doesn't stop my situation from weighing on me. I have all this debt, and I have to weave through the idea of it not defining me like on an every other momentary basis. And I know lots of people have debt, and I understand that lots of people are going through lots of things, but then, I don't know. I don't know. It's just very frustrating. It's difficult to not compare, and I'm trying to get out of that trap, but I see everybody else around me, they're in these relationships, and I don't even know what to think. I don't know if I'm bitter or what. I don't think I am, but I can tell it's trying to creep up. It's like on the very edge. So I don't even know what this video is. I guess I'm venting. I don't know. Kudos to you for sticking around if you're still around. Because holy crap, I'm everywhere. Alright? I don't even know if I'll post this. I just feel overwhelmed. And when I look at other people, I don't know what to think. I consider my own issues and my own problems, and I don't know how to frame them. I don't even know what the correct frame is. And sure, I can seek people online for help, but there are only so many people in my general vicinity that I can go to, and I understand that lots of people don't have people to go to and probably have fewer than I do. I do have a few friends that I can talk to, but it feels like everybody has somewhere to go, everybody has somewhere to be, everybody has something to do, everybody has some meaningful thing that they have to do, and I just have a bunch of burdens that I have to reconcile, and I'm always weighed down because I'm always too far behind, and I'm always behind myself. I'm tripping over my own feet, and I'm always struggling, and the struggling isn't useless, it's not pointless, you know. It merits, but and struggling with God has certainly been worth it. Struggling with Christ, and what that means is, putting my faith in Him in the moments when I'm struggling, that's partially what I'm trying to do right now. It's just, it doesn't change the fact that it's overwhelming. And I know I'm definitely in the wrong right now. I'm definitely not probably. I'm definitely framing this incorrectly. I'm definitely letting things bother me that I shouldn't be. But I don't even know where to begin. I'm overwhelmed, and I live in this apartment alone. And who's gonna come around the corner? And who's I have friends, I suppose, but I do care about them. And that friend I got to talk to earlier, I talked to him about some of my issues, but, there wasn't really much reciprocating going on, and I feel alone. I feel really alone. I feel like everybody has something to do but me. I wake up and I get to tackle another problem. I can't even get myself out of bed. I sleep on my living room floor because I don't know, I have a bed and it's really comfortable. But there's just something about the comfort of my bed that turns me off. I don't want it because it's good. And I don't know how to process what I'm processing. I know that I shouldn't run away, but I'm not an expert. And so I don't know. I've never had $23,000 of debt before, and so I guess that should alleviate some of the misery or something. And I wouldn't say misery, that's a strong word, but that should alleviate some of the pain, right? Theoretically. Like, I guess I should, feel a lighter burden, and I guess compared to what I could be feeling, like, it is a lighter burden. And Christ has certainly done that for me, because not having my identity rooted in these things is it's certainly um been pivotal. But I just have, other than God, I have like everybody that I can lean on. I can only lean on so much, and I get it. Nobody's gonna solve my problems for me. But like, I'm over here in this I need you guys to understand that I'm in front of this camera because I don't have anybody that I can speak to personally enough about these things. And and the few that I have are just online friends, and I'm not trivializing just online friends. I love them and I do care about them, but like, the reality is they're not here. They're not here. And so everybody's busy. Everybody's got a life. And sometimes it feels like my own is just nothing but trial after trial after trial after trial. And while I'm going through one thing, another thing comes around the corner. And then while I'm handling while I'm handling that thing, then something else peeks in. And it's, I trust God. I do. But and it's not like it doesn't feel like enough. I feel like I'm not enough. I know God is enough. He's been with me. He's never left me. He's never abandoned me. He's always come to me. He's always been there. And it's not a sin to struggle, but feels like it. I don't know how to handle feeling small all the time. You would think I would be an expert by now, but I'm not. But I wish I were. I don't know how much longer I can take feeling left out of everything. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be able to take not being able to find anybody that can actually get along with on every level. And I get it, and nobody's perfect, and there's nobody that I'm gonna find that's gonna be able to match me on every single point of of everything that I am. And that would be God, perhaps, somebody who can meet me in every place that I am in my life, and I get that, but like, what's so hard about a friend? What's so hard about a companion? I get it. I shouldn't reach out right now, especially romantically, because I'm probably desperate. And it's not right to put that on someone. But I can't even go to my own mother, and I don't got a father, and like, what am I supposed to do? I have no one but the Lord. And I don't trivialize that. That's a good thing. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be here right now. I would be self-destructing somewhere. And I understand he's leading me and he's preparing me. But I wish I knew why. I know. That's real typical. Part of me has gotten particularly decent and not needing that why. But I can't help myself from asking it. Better than why, though, is when. When will this finally end? The debt, the things I got myself wrapped into that I never knew. I didn't know when I was 7 years old, and I got myself, I entertained pornographic content that I would still be here at 23, almost 24 years old, struggling with it. If I knew what the hell that was gonna do to me, I wouldn't have done it. But guess what? I was a child. And then later on, I get older, and then I make it worse. And then I develop this relationship with God, but then, I ironically make it even worse. And I dig deeper, and it's my fault. Partially, and I'm an adult, and I can't blame somebody else, and I can't be mad at other people, it's just so overwhelming, like, and I know I'm not alone in this, and tell me if I'm not alone in this, right? I don't mean the pity party, but the reality is that I have to be on guard just to walk outside my door. I have to be on guard in my own thoughts. I have to be on guard when I go to the stupid bathroom. I have to be on guard when I sit in this apartment all by myself. And what do you think is gonna happen when somebody has forms of sex addiction and they're by themselves, especially in an apartment alone? My God, it's just like, I trust God, and things are not nearly as difficult as they could be, because that faith in God is certainly carrying. Alright, so I have peace in places where I don't think, and I never thought I would have peace. But in other ways, and maybe I'm just complaining and I shouldn't be, but I have to say this, that in other ways and in a lot of ways, I still feel this ridiculous burden. And it's the sort of burden and you look at it sideways and you say, why are you so stupid? Like, my God, why are you like that? And that's hard to separate from myself. My mother will say things that just tear me apart. And my friends will say things nonchalantly, or the lack thereof, and I'll witness what other people are up to, and of course I'm lacking in perspective, and of course I'm not seeing the whole picture, but Unfortunately, I've trained my brain to envy for the majority of my life. And so I'm not making an excuse, but good luck unraveling that in just so many months. And so God's been working real carefully. It's a careful extraction. My God, it's a touchy surgery. It's a surgery with like a 99% chance of death, and the one who performs this is gotta be an expert. Because I can't do this myself. Good God, I can't do this myself. If I were doing all of this in my life by myself, I may be dead. That's the reality. And I would be smoking weed. And I would probably be drinking. And I feel left out. I don't do either of those things anymore. I don't smoke and I don't drink. And I feel, guess what? More left out than ever. And guess what? More alone than ever. And now I live alone. And I'm not complaining. This is one hell of a blessing. One hell of a blessing. But what am I gonna do? When will it end? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Alright, I'm just venting. I'm just saying this. And something's telling me I should. Alright, so I don't know who this could help. Help is maybe a strong word. I suppose I'm looking to not feel alone. Anyways, kudos to anybody who made it 22 whole minutes through, some random dude on YouTube who they don't know, who's literally just complaining. Like, whatever you're up to, good for you. Good for you for persevering through this. Yep.